Warning: listeners may experience increased motivation, accountability, and personal development. You are now listening to the Think, Grow, Evolve podcast with your hosts, Eric and Jose.
All right, bro, we're recording. What are we talking about?
Productivity, something that we're all a big fan of.
I think a good place to start this conversation is, why the hell should we talk about productivity? Like, what is it?
Well, to be honest, it would benefit everyone, I think. Like, from a certain point of view, like, I'm pretty sure if you can think and be like, if I was a little bit more productive, I would have got X, Y, and Z done, or just maybe my mood would have changed.
But why do you think societally it's so trendy? Like, why is on YouTube how to be more productive, Joe Schmo's morning routine, get as rich as Elon Musk by doing these 5 things? Why do you think that shit's so popular?
Because it's associated with success. So usually you see these highly successful people that society deems people that are rich, wealthy, X, Y, and Z, and they have some sort of routine, and they have like a structure to their day. They're very productive, sort of say. They have these morning routines where they wake up, brush their teeth, drink a glass of water. What I've been seeing very common is the journaling, like writing down what they want to do, how they want to do it, by what time, right? So
full day of eating.
Full day of eating. There's a lot of different types of videos. So, and I think since it's so trendy because so many people want to do it, but I don't know about you, it's not as easy as they make it seem, or like to almost be like kind of like a robot every day, just like, okay, wake up, this, and this, which I don't know, I'm not in that position yet, but I feel like everyone that's watching wants to be in a way more productive. And I think that's why it's so trendy.
Yeah, man. I think they see the end goal, right? So, like, if you're going to watch Elon Musk's life or full day of eating, they think like, if I eat these foods, I will have this money. Yes. I will be this smart. I will have this body. If I do this chick's makeup routine, I'm going to look like her and get all the Facebook or Instagram, whatever likes it is, right?
Yeah. If I wake up and journal, if I wake up and meditate, I will be exactly like this person, right? But
so wouldn't you say that there's like, not a misconception, but kind of like a confusion that like people are searching for something. It's not just about being productive. It's not just about waking up at this time. It's people want to get to a destination.
Yeah. Well, 110%. Another thing is, I think people should realize that all this is helpful, but what's that term? Take it with a grain of salt. Like, you should morph it towards your lifestyle. Like, let's say you have a particular type of lifestyle, a certain job, family, pets, and the person you're looking up to doesn't have any of that. Are you just going to completely switch your routine to his? No. What I would do, this is just also my opinion, is take certain bits of it. Okay, I like this and this, and make it realistic. If there's something that you know deep down inside, because I feel like we know when we're setting expectations for ourselves that probably won't be able to do that, then maybe try to morph it towards your lifestyle, because so many people are like, kind of like what you said, Elon Musk does this, so I have to switch my life in order to be somewhat similar to it. But we're all different people. Everyone's has their own, what do I say? Like, everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses, right? Everyone, like, you may be a morning person, I may not be. You may like meditating in the morning, I may like meditating at the middle of the day. Some people like waking up and getting a workout. Some people like working out at night, right?
Yeah, it's very environmentally based, right? Like, especially for young people, man, because the young people are the people that are like engaging in this content a lot. I'm not going to say that like middle-aged or older people don't, but like we particularly rate to the young people side of it. And like coming from a server lifestyle, man, I can't do the 5 a.m. club thing. I'm coming home at 3 in the morning from work.
Yeah, that's so and it's funny because I feel like we've both been in the service industry for a very long time. Well, not very long time, but it's been a couple years. Like, I think ever since my first job, I used to work till like 5 in the morning, and I was just conditioned. And then the service industry life is just Sometimes, like, as a server, bartender, whatever you are, you're working till, if you work the afternoon shift, you're working till 2, 3, you get home.
Compare that for someone who comes home at 5, 6 p.m., right?
Exactly, right? So that's why I feel like everyone should have their own sense of like productivity, yes, and not to be so influenced by all these YouTubes of my daily morning routine where I wake up at 5 a.m. and I go kill it. If you have a lifestyle where you're able to sleep at 10, then by all means, right?
And I think that's the thing though, man. I think so many people, this goes back to like direct comparisons. Like you think, and in fact it's true, but you think people are like judging you based on your success. Like, especially like Instagram is the best example of like, look at what car this 17-year-old is driving. Look what house he lives in. Look what type of boyfriend she has, or the little dog, or the purse, or whatever. And we think that like by showing the hustle, showing the work, look the best, man. And I love it, and like I'm guilty of it too. But I love it when people like take screenshots of their story, of their alarm clock, of the time they're waking up. You know,
it's like letting the world know, like.
And honestly, like, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. The fact that those people can do that, it's freaking awesome, and it does motivate me. Like the people I watch, when I see David Goggins do this shit at 5 a.m., dude, and like that shit, like it motivates me. But at the same time, is like, what's your internal drive? Like, is it because you want people to see like I'm hustling, or is it because like, hey, I hope this motivates someone? And either or is not a bad thing. It's just it truly changes the viewer's perspective of it, right?
Yeah, that's huge. Like, something that just a good point you brought up is seeing if you're doing this whole thing actually for you or for other people's, like, for other people, right? Because like, kind of like what you said, sometimes it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Sometimes they don't even do it for themselves, right? Well, then that's a whole different topic on like talking with yourself and seeing if you probably care too much about other people. But I feel like a lot of times is obviously kind of like what you said, like we're not here to judge anyone or anyone like that. Anyone that does post that's amazing, because it probably also holds them accountable too.
Absolutely.
But like, I would ideally want you, if you are posting that, you doing it for yourself. Like, that's the number one thing. And kind of like what I said earlier is, when it comes to like this whole waking up at a certain time, if it fits your lifestyle and you are productive, go for it. Like, do it.
Man. And it's like, success is based off of reference points, right? Like,
point of view. Yeah.
If you, even though like a lot of people can be getting university degrees, maybe they're working in a trade and they're like making great money for their age, but it's what they deem as that point of where they're successful. Like, and then when you're engaging in content where like everyone on your social media has wicked bodies, they're amazing chefs, and they're driving supercars and living in California and on the beach or whatever, it's hard to live up to that.
Yeah.
So I think like a better measure is like looking at your own progress, and like, are you like, compare yourself to 3 months ago, compare yourself to 6 months ago, compare
huge.
yourself to a year ago. Like, that's how you'll actually notice progress, not if, oh, this guy I used to go to school with is doing better than me.
Yeah.
Because you don't even see shit, dude. You don't know what's going on in his life.
Oh, it's I think I saw a picture of this. There's like an iceberg, like the underground iceberg of like, when anytime you look at success, obviously people see. And then that's another thing is, if you look at even Instagram, I think it's very rare where you see people post, quote unquote, their losses
or the struggle,
or the worst parts in their life. Usually if you go on people's Instagrams, what do you see? The best moments, them laughing with their friends, them going on a vacation. Like
Bro, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's actually a direct function on Instagram that says highlight reel or something like that.
Yeah, literally, right? So many, like, a lot of these people, obviously, like, let's say, quote unquote, successful, they're just letting you see what they want you to see. You don't see the back end of it, right? Because at the end of the day, we are all human. And I feel like if we can normalize that, like sharing not just our wins, because I think sharing our wins are amazing. Like, if you get an achievement, post it by all means. Like, go all out. You should be proud of that. If you get your first house, if you get that job, if you get that car, celebrate
if you lost freaking 3 pounds, whatever those little goals that you've set for yourself, celebrate it. And hopefully you have a supportive group of people around you that'll celebrate it with you.
Exactly. But I feel like even with like, I don't know with you, but I think just the thought of it right now is uncomfortable. Celebrate your losses. And posting things like that, like imagine like the complete opposite. Oh, instead of losing weight, guess what? I gained weight. You know, or let's say I bought a house. Oh wow, I bought a house, but then a week later my pipe burst and now I got to repair that. Or I bought a new car, yay. Guess what? A week or two later, this part broke, right? And I feel like just getting comfortable with us like promoting our losses, telling pretty much everyone that guess what? We're human. Life's not always
straight lines.
Exactly. Right? But I don't know about you, but like just the thought of like, let's say sharing those darker moments or those lower moments or those losses in life. You don't just wake up one day and be like, you know what, I'm gonna post this, you know? So, but I feel like if we can normalize that, then that would be a little bit better. So then people won't get all these high expectations of like, oh my God, he's a perfect being. Like Elon Musk is a perfect being, which he pretty much almost is, but I'm pretty sure he also deals with a lot of stuff on the daily. So,
bro, his kid's name is like an algebraic code.
Yeah, well, see, like that's very interesting. Who knows? He has some reason.
How many people do you think are doing that in like the next 5 years?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I mean, I'm being facetious here, but I think everyone, like, it just goes to show that if you live your life based on other people's actions and their opinions, like, you end up losing yourself.
Yes.
And like, hey, if you want to name your kid C3PO or whatever you want to name it,
I rate that. I rate that really hard.
But don't do it because Elon Musk did it. Do it
Exactly.
because that's something you want to do.
Exactly. And just to tie this back to what we said earlier, productivity is very whatever you deem as productive. That could be getting like a 5-minute to 10-minute walk a day. That could be drinking more water. That could be, you know what, instead of eating the chips, I eat sweet potatoes, or just something. Like productivity can be very, very small. Like it can't be like, you don't always have to go for the home run from like the first thing. And it has to be not within, but let's say relative to you, relative to your lifestyle. And if you can do that, yeah, at the time. And then you kind of like what you said earlier, as long as you're better than you were a month ago, 3 months ago, a year ago, if you can look back and say that,
that's being productive.
That's productive. Yeah. So like it's, I feel like if we kind of switch towards that point of view, then hopefully it helps a lot of people. But
so we talked about kind of the misconception or the confusion about productivity. What are some things we can do to actually be more productive, man? So
yeah, so this is huge. Kind of like I said, everyone's different, but I feel like some very broad things you can do is something that's helped me is, as cheesy as I said, for me is having like journaling, writing things down. Relatively the first thing, like when I wake up, writing things down, what I want done during the day. And they're very broad. I put them as read a book, send emails if I have to certain people, get a certain amount of steps a day. Like I started very broad. And then once you get into the habit of doing that, then I start adding more and more and more things, right? But I started very small. And something that helped for me was journaling. Another thing is environment, right? So if you're like in like an environment that kind of promotes productivity in a way, so let's say if you're very fortunate to have like a designated office, like just that office space I think is huge, because now you're like kind of like in the zone of, okay, like let's get to work. Also like the gym, I don't mind working out from home, but there's something about going to a gym and being in that environment where you're like, okay, so if your environment is productive, let's say you have a clean desk that's not cluttered, because if it's cluttered, then you're not like your life's going to be cluttered, but you may not have that much structure. And then another thing is something that I've been trying to do, I find it really hard, is something that Jordan Peterson says is make your bed. It's very simple.
Bro, that shit
Very
like Navy SEAL.
Very simple. But just that you're starting off your day on a positive note. You're starting off your day literally doing something,
It's
right?
a win.
Exactly. You're starting off with a win. And then, if anything, that kind of sets your mood for the rest of the day. So, doing little things like that, like in your environment, I think your environment is huge, right? Because we are human. Obviously, we're going to have our days where we don't want to, let's say, I don't want to journal, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that. But if you have like that environment, then it helps you in those days.
I think you're touching on something that like I think is super important. It's like the fact that people tend to rely on motivation. Right?
Yes.
Like January 1st is like one of the biggest days for people when it comes to resolutions or joining the gym or whatever they say that they got to do because of motivation. Like, oh, I'm motivated to lose this weight, so January 1st, I'm going to do it. Or, this next school paper, I'm going to start it 2 weeks in advance so I don't have to do it last second. But, I mean, I think it goes without explaining what happens when you rely on motivation.
Yeah. Like
It's so easy to do it when you're motivated, man.
Oh, yeah. I feel like you need to have also a good balance. Like, we're not saying motivation is bad, but if you solely depend on it, then maybe you should try to reframe your thinking in a way, or to kind of look at other things. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I love the gym. I love working out, but there are some days where I'm kind of like, why am I doing this? Like, and then there are some days where I don't feel like going, and then I see like a motivational video, or I see like a quote, and I'm like amped, or I see someone killing it that I know, I'm like, shit. So little spurts of motivation I feel like is good.
Of course, and I think when you are motivated, you have to triple down on that. Like if, like for example, I started blog writing. Bro, sitting down at home during your free time and to write something not for money it's not easy to do without motivation. So the days that I am motivated, I make it a point to write that day. Like whatever, like don't just like, oh, I finished the blog, so like that. No, like if I still feel good, just write.
Take advantage of those
there's
days.
There's going to be days where I don't want to do it. And you know what? Some of those days I will slack off because like I'm human.
Yep.
But I think the point that this is leading to is the importance of discipline. And going back to your making the bed kind of point, is discipline is what is going to get you through those days where your motivation is low. 110%. Those days where motivation's not there. Yep. Because there's a difference between high motivation, low motivation, and no motivation.
Yep.
It's drastic.
That's huge.
So what discipline actually does is it says, oh shit, I don't want to do this, but I got to do it.
But you still do it anyways. That's huge. How do you build discipline?
Okay, dude. Well, I mean, so let's
what have you done?
Let's talk about first why discipline's such a challenge right now. And I think a lot of that has to do with instant gratification.
Yes.
So like when you're on Instagram and you want to see a hot girl, click, there she is.
Yeah.
You want to freaking learn how to do a glitch in a video game, click, there it is. You want to learn how to eat, or you want to go eat some really unhealthy food, Uber Eats, click,
skip
there
dishes.
It is. Anything we want, we get in milliseconds.
At the touch of a button, fingers.
We were raised in that environment. Like when I have to wait for a website to open for more than 0.7 seconds, I'm like, oh, this fucking internet sucks. Like, I literally get anxious.
Yeah, and that's crazy how that's funny. Yeah.
It's so true though. Like,
it is.
Oh my god, my wife, playing a video game with lag is enough to make me want to like take a baseball bat to my screen.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
And then so like correlating that with discipline and productivity, like progress doesn't happen overnight.
No.
Like getting a skinnier body, building more muscle, getting smarter, getting more knowledge on like saving money or making money, like that doesn't happen overnight. And
being efficient at a job, day one you're a rookie.
So when it comes to discipline, it's using and utilizing discipline to get better over time. So you have to get it out of your mindset, and it's so much easier said than done. And like I always assume that when I'm doing something, I have to be the best at it. It's 100% a thing for me, and I'm aware of it, and it's something I'm working towards. But discipline is what is helping me to like, bro, take it easy. You're learning.
Yeah. To just also, I feel like developing like a kind of like a student mindset always, to just being open to, you know what, like open to mistakes, open to failure, which you do hear like trendy a lot. But discipline is a long-term game. 110%. Like it's a long, like related to so many things. Like, let's say you want to lose some weight and you eat good for one day. Is that going to completely change your body, your physique, your mental health? Maybe, but it won't. Within the results that you want, you won't just lose 30 pounds and become shredded and live a happy dandy life in like one day. That won't happen. Same thing when it comes to a job. I'm pretty sure anyone that has any type of work, your first day you're nervous. Second day, you're probably pretty nervous. Third day, fourth, a week, a month in, you get more comfortable, and then you get better at your job, more efficient, because now you're more used to it. But you don't just start a jack of all trades. It develops. And what do? Discipline. Same thing with what we're trying to tell you guys is like, right now we're not perfect military soldiers that follow a plan to a day, but being aware that discipline is what will help you get from point A to point B. Whatever your goal is, whatever is that you want to accomplish, you need discipline.
Could you imagine you only went to work only when you were motivated? You'd be broke.
You'd
be broke as hell.
You would be there. Yeah, you would not be in a pretty place. That's for sure. But discipline is something that you have to practice, I think, every day.
Yeah, and
every day.
It's through the little things,
so,
man.
Little things, as in like little temptations. You'll get like if I want to, I would love to eat chocolates and like fried chicken and like pizza every day. I would love to do that. But sometimes like I look at the long term. I'm like, okay, if I can control what I consume, then that's very powerful. Day to day, if you can control what you put in your mouth, then I think you have a lot of
there.
Then oh Jesus. You know what I mean? Then I think you do have a lot of power within anything else that comes your way.
No, of course.
Any other outside source, right? So
there's a fine line too, though. I mean, like, there's a lot of times where, as people, like, you can become extremely obsessed with your discipline and like,
disciplined.
I can't have fun. I have to do 1,000 pull-ups and push-ups before I freaking eat breakfast, and then I personally don't know anyone like that, but like, that's a lot of the time when you like tell people to make their bed, that's the person they think you're trying to make them to be.
Exactly.
And you're not. You just want someone who's like, you know what? I can say no to. Well, I just realized something that I want to talk about.
Good.
Pleasure, dude. A lot of the times people mix up happiness and pleasure, and it fucks up people's productivity. Because people think in order to be happy, they have to, like, they think of things of pleasure. So, like, in order to be successful, I need money. No, money is pleasure. Oh, in order to be successful, I need a really hot girlfriend or boyfriend. No, that's pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
The things that bring you joy out of that is purpose. So what's more important than like the enjoyment or the pleasure of money? It's the security and safety. It's the purpose and the meaning behind your work. What is the purpose of falling in love or having a hot or attractive? It's not about the attraction to your partner. It's about the love that you feel. Like, pleasure is the absolute biggest drug that people strive for.
Overdose on.
Oh my God.
Craving on.
And like when it comes to food, they don't think about, it's not about how good this cheeseburger tastes. It's about the nutritional value. But now hear me out. It's not about like not eating unhealthy food, because once in a while, man, eating some unhealthy food is freaking good for your soul. And I don't have science to back this up, but I can tell you that my heart and my stomach gets really freaking happy when I have moment, and like moment, I think we as people need that. Like
everything in moderation, everything with a balance. But I think going back to what you said is being aware of it. Like if you're aware, okay, I can have this treat or anything that you would want once a week, once a month, like whatever is doable to your lifestyle, your current situation, do it, right? Like, we're not over here saying you should be military officers 24/7 and like,
dude, you know, it's a
perfect posture, make your bed.
You know, it's a technique that helped me a lot specifically with school. It's called the Pomodoro technique.
Oh, this is huge.
Basically, it sounds so simple, and it is so simple, but like it helped me a lot when it came to writing papers. But basically, the Pomodoro technique is you get a timer, whether it's a stopwatch, whether it's your phone. Be careful with that one. It's better to use an alarm or stopwatch. And you set it to 25 minutes. I mean, that is variable. You can change it, but the original technique was 25 minutes. And what you do is you have no distractions. If you live with people, you say, please don't bother me for 25 minutes. Your phone is off, or you put it on airplane mode. And for 25 minutes, you do the task that you are set out to do. Regardless of if you're motivated, regardless of a due date, like, you do it for 25 minutes. Why? The whole purpose of this is because a lot of the times the thought of having to do something is more difficult than actually doing it.
Yeah.
So when you actually start it for that 25 minutes, then you're like, I mean, someone like me, it takes a while to actually like start writing, whether it's for school or research or a blog or even working out. Like, how many times does it take to like get into your workout? But once you're actually doing it and you're not distracted, you become in the zone, you become in the state of flow, and then you start going.
That's huge.
So I think for like someone who wants like a technique that they can start doing, research the Pomodoro technique. And like, if you have a project that you want to do, whether it's an Instagram account or a side business or a school report or a workout, I'm telling you, just start it for 25 minutes and just see where it goes.
Yeah, I love that. Start. I feel like that's the huge thing, is starting. I'm definitely gonna use this technique. From now on, I've never heard of it. It's the first time of me hearing it, but I love the fact where you just kind of push everything to the side. Like, it could be distractions, it could be your environment, and you focus on a task.
Yeah, dude.
For a certain period of time. And let's say for me, I would implement this. I would start small. I would start 5 minutes, see if I can do it. Okay, 10, 15, 20, 25, and then progress from there. I'm not going to ball out. If I know I can't do something for a certain period of time, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go ball out, go from 0 to 25, because then I'm setting myself up for failure. I know myself. I'm like, okay, let me start small and celebrate these little small wins. Let me just kill it for 5 minutes. Dude. Okay, then that wasn't so bad. Let me kill it for 10, and so on and so on and so on.
Have you heard of the book, The 4-Hour Workweek?
I've heard of it.
So basically,
haven't read it yet.
Something I took away from that book, I didn't love that book, but something that I like obsess over that book like instilled in my brain is a lot of the times when people want to be productive or successful, they think about how much more they can do. Oh, like, I want to start this business. I want to get multiple streams of income. I want to get like this many like good looking friends, and I want to get attraction from so many different guys and girls. Like, it's about more, right? Mm-hmm. And then Tim Ferriss, author, he says, actually, if you want to be more successful, it's not about doing more, it's about doing less.
Yeah.
If you do less and you're making, like, if you're more efficient and more productive, you're actually should have more time.
Yep.
Instead of having an 8-hour workday, if you all of a sudden have a 7-hour workday, if you work 5 days a week, you just gain 5 hours in your week, 5 hours of life, 5 hours with your children, 5 hours with your boyfriend or girlfriend, 5 hours with your dog. Like,
doing whatever you want.
That's the purpose of productivity. It's not about getting more money, or I think time. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Everyone's end goal will be different, but I think getting more time is what that book really, really instilled in me. And you can do that by being more productive.
Yeah. I think also time is one of the most important things in life, because it's when, like, you can't put a price on it. You can't get it back. It's not like you can get a refund, and you can't really buy more of it. Like,
debatable.
Time, like, well, maybe with technology, who knows? We may live till 120.
Buy a gym membership, you'll live longer.
Yeah. Well, like, it's one of those things. Well, you never know, right? You never know. But maybe with technology, we may live till 120, 140. I wouldn't be surprised. But that's a really good point that you said. I really like that point.
Yeah, man. And everyone wants more. Everyone wants more out of life, but they don't realize, like, if you, like, going back to the Pomodoro technique, if you do 25 minutes of, like, tunnel vision work,
yeah,
like, I'm telling you, that's better than working for 3 hours on something, like, while on your phone, while answering text messages. Oh, I just got a ding. Oh, shit, I got to check this email.
Yeah.
Dude, I can, personally, I think, like, I'm very grateful for this, but, like, I can write a school paper, like a 12 to 20 page paper in 3 hours with no bullshit. Like, that's including research. Like, I can, if I tunnel vision and I, like, my family knows, like, if I'm working,
don't bother me.
If I have headphones on and I'm up in my office or in my room, like, I'm tunnel vision. My notifications are off and I'm gone.
Yeah, that's good. I feel like everyone has that to a certain extent. Like, when, like, kind of like what you said earlier, initially you're like, oh fuck, like, let's say I'm reading the first couple pages, I'm like, oh fuck, but then you're like 4, 5, 6 pages in, you're just in the zone. Same thing as the gym. Sometimes you're like, fuck, I'm not feeling it today, right? You go in, you warm up, you hit, you feel stronger, or you get a nice pump, those endorphins start releasing, and you know what, you're in the zone, and then you kill it, right? There's so many days that I've had where I'm like, I don't want to work out today, then I went in, I killed it, and guess what? If I didn't do anything, I would have just stayed at home.
And bro, what's the difference? So picture yourself working out, right? You're killing it. Instead of being tunnel vision, now 17 minutes into your workout, you feel your phone vibrate, you look at it, and you get some text that pisses you off, or you get a text that makes you sad, or you see an Instagram post of something you didn't want to see. What happens to your workout?
It just, you lose focus. You lose that tunnel vision. You lose that in the zone or the flow state that you're in. And which is something that I've, like, personally, I don't really like going on my phone when I'm working out. Kind of like, it's funny now that you say this, because I feel like we've been doing this technique when it comes to the gym. Like, sometimes, like, we work out together, but sometimes we don't really talk. We just, like, we know what we got to do. We have our headphones in and we just focus on that. We just focus on lifting weights. Yeah, sometimes we talk to people and stuff like that are in the environment, but when we're there to kill it, we're there to kill it.
And see, that's the thing, man. Like, think about it. So if 2 people or if 1 person is working out, if they tunnel vision their workout and they're efficient and they're productive and they get it done in 45 minutes compared to someone who spends an hour and a half, which is nothing wrong with it, but they're spending a little bit more time on their phone, they're talking to more people. The point that I'm trying to get across here is you're actually hypothetically doing less. You just went from an hour and a half to 45 minutes. And I mean, there's been plenty of times where I'm like, holy crap, I wish I had another hour to my day.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people should want to get out of being productive, man. Instead of like, oh, I want, like, my peers to think I'm super successful. I want my cousins and aunts and uncles to think that I'm not a screw up, you know?
Yeah, well, it's I like how you touched on that, the theme of time, because, like, I feel like, yeah, like, in a way, 45 minutes compared to an hour and a half, like, if you get your workout in an hour and a half, that's totally fine. We're not saying, like, oh my God, like, you're terrible or X, Y, and Z. But if, let's say, like, if you do become more efficient or more productive, sort of say, if you have, like, a little bit of structure, you reduce, like, kind of like those little things that are sabotaging your zone or
distractions.
Exactly, that's the word I'm looking for. Distractions. Then you will have more time in your day. And who would want more time? I think everyone would love more time, because there's just, like, little, like, formula out there. But we're both 25, right? Hopefully we live up until 80, crossing our fingers. Nothing really happens. So what is that? Like 60, 65 years left?
55.
Oh, wow. My math's off. Yeah. So yikes. I feel old.
Yeah.
55 years, right?
Big difference, 5 years.
And obviously one of the things everyone does is sleep. So let's put a third of that, sleeping, brushing our teeth, getting ready, just basic grooming stuff. That takes about 1/3, right? So 50, now we're back to, what about, like, let's take her out, like, 20 years off. What is that now? We're at 35.
30. Bro, your math today is off. You need a coffee, man.
It's off. I'm a mathematician when it matters. So we're at 30 now. And let's say 50% of our life goes towards work, goes towards pretty much, because that's pretty much majority of people's day is goes towards work. 9 to 5.
Your drive, your
commute,
your thoughts, even thinking about work when you get home.
So 30, now you're down to 15. Wow.
Yeah, man.
You pretty much have 15 years to pretty much do whatever you want, right? Or to do the things that you really want to do, spend it with the people you want to spend it with, family, vacation. It could be anything. But when we talk about pretty much being more efficient and more productive, we're not saying as in like, oh, if you work out for 2 hours when you could have got it done in 45 minutes, it's brutal. But if you look at life like you don't got time to lose, then you kind of not force yourself, but you'll be a little bit more cautious, I feel like, and self-aware, to where you'll naturally put yourself in a very productive state. You'll be like, okay, just that example that I said, yeah, let's say we live till 85, but if you actually think of it, my free time, I have 15 years. If I look at it like that, I don't got a lot of time.
Yeah, dude, I love that.
So now, if I can get a workout done in 45 minutes efficiently compared to an hour and a half, and I only got 15 years left, you best believe I'm taking the 45 minutes.
And I think the point that you're nailing and that I love is that I think
that wording
so hot. Going back to the productivity side of that is, if you only have obviously every equation you just said is all hypothetical and determined by your age, determines by your work week, and
I was very broad.
But I think the point that you're getting there is that the end goal should be getting more life out of living.
Yes.
Or more living out of life.
Yep.
You know?
And more just, and like every one of us has the same 24 hours. It's not like, quote unquote, the successful people like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, that 20-year-old TikToker that's famous. It's not like they have more time. Everyone on this planet has the same 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
What you decide to do within those hours is up to you, right?
Yeah.
If you want, you could. And something that we recommend, which was huge, was that test. And you can start something simple, 25 hours, whatever task it could be.
Bro.
Whatever you want.
25 minutes.
Oh my God.
25
Jesus.
hours,
My
man.
bad.
That's yo, do something for 25 hours.
25 minutes. Something small. Just go all in.
Yeah, man. I think
it doesn't hurt.
The reason why I'm so passionate about this is like, and the reason why I really want to talk about this is because I know, and I'm going to be a little hard on myself for a second here, but the days where I'm like specifically like laying on a couch, or I'm weird, I'll even lay on the floor and I feel like a zombie, and I do the rotation. I'm on Instagram, swipe, 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 nothing. YouTube, swipe, 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 nothing. TikTok, swipe, swipe, swipe. Oh my God, dance. Back to Instagram. And then I'll refresh the post and like there's nothing new there. I'm just on the I'm on the treadmill, dude.
Yeah. Like a hamster on a treadmill.
And the thing is, like, too much of my day-to-day basis is like that. Like a lot of, if I had like, have you seen the Truman Show?
No.
You haven't seen the Truman Show. Oh, you're kidding. Jim Carrey? Wow, bro. Okay, well, there goes my point. Anyways, Truman Show is basically Jim Carrey, like, oh, wow, I was about to spoil the movie. Never mind. I'm going to say something else.
Just spoil it.
Okay. So Truman Show is, he's like an actor on a TV show, and he doesn't know it. Everyone around him is an actor, and like his mom and dad, and girlfriend, wife, whatever, and like the human world is watching him. And I get the point that if people were watching me, there is so much wasted time in a day. And I know we talked about like, reducing your workout by 45 minutes or reducing the time it takes to write on a paper. That extra time is only good as if you find more life.
Yeah.
Like you said, the 15 years hypothetically that we calculated, if you have 20 more years to live, if you have 28 more years to live, if you have if you have a week left to live, it's not about how much time you have left, it's how much life you use that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
What you do with that time. That's huge, right? And that's life, I guess, in a way. We're kind of getting life, like life's a journey, and you're gonna have to find what you want to do. Like, let's say it's almost like winning the lottery. What if I go to you tomorrow and be like, all right, you got 20 years of life to do whatever you want. Go. I'll be like, wait, what?
Yeah. Right?
Like, wait, you'll be like, wait, what? Be like, yep, go. Then you'll be like, oh, okay, I guess. What do I do?
Yeah, literally. Okay, dude. I think that was a great talk, but I got to ask you a question.
Oh, question time.
So now, after everything that we talked about, the misconceptions, we talked about the importance, and like we actually gave some advice on how to be more productive. What does your life look like, Jose Valenzuela?
Damn. Want my SIN number? No.
Give me your phone number. What does your life look like if you're as productive as you want to be? Or even if you're a little bit more productive, what do you notice more in your life? Like, why would you want to be more productive?
I'd be more calm.
Yeah?
I
Talk
think
about it. Why?
I think to summarize it, will be more calm and more relaxed, because I like using like the little analogy of like a cluttered desk, because when I'm not productive and I know I have to get certain things done and it's just a cluttered mess. Like it's like a messy room. It's just all over the place. And like we said earlier, I feel like I'll waste a lot more time on certain tasks that should not take me as much time, but because I'm not productive and I'm not organized and I'm not structured at all, I'm like a headless chicken. Kind of like what you said. I'm like running in circles. A little bit too much. I still get stuff done, but I feel like I could be more efficient. And if I am more productive and more efficient, then I'll be way more calm, because now I can actually focus on all that extra energy I was spending on like not knowing what to start. I got to do X, Y, and Z. What do I do first? Like all that energy I'm spending, I would have been spending focusing on my task. Like the theory we said earlier, 25, 30, whatever minutes you take to go all in on a task, instead of, let's say, taking 5 to 10 minutes, maybe sometimes even 30 or an hour. It's like there have been times, even like what you said, okay, I'm going to read later. I go on Instagram. There goes a year. Then I go on YouTube. No, not a year. An hour. Jesus. I'm all over the place. I go on Instagram. I go on YouTube. Next thing you know, it's like nighttime. And then I'm like, should I read? Should I not? And then I read, but I don't read as much as I could have. Or like I could have done something with that time that would have made me, let's say, finish that book faster, or maybe get to my goals faster that I want to achieve. There's a bunch of different things, right? But I feel like the core of it, I would feel a lot more calm and a lot more relaxed, because I feel like I'm wasting a lot of energy on just being a mess, like cluttered, right? But I'm not saying I'm a mess, but that would be like the ideal version of myself. What about you?
Yeah, bro. I think...
Can't take my answer.
I definitely won't.
Okay.
I ain't no freaking chicken without a head.
Whoa. Whoa.
No, honestly, I think instead I'd be a lot less stressed, and it would make me...
Summarize it in like a couple words.
Less stressed.
Stressed.
More confident.
Less stressed and more confident. Okay.
Yeah. So now in not so less words, a couple more words.
Yeah.
I think if I had a better organization of like what I was supposed to do, like you said, that less wasted time of doing whatever, it'll make me less stressed of my school stuff, less stressed of my work stuff. It'll make me have more time to be like a better son, a better brother, better friend, better boyfriend, whatever it is. Like,
yeah.
When you don't have the stress of like, oh no, like I don't know what to do right now. Like, oh, I could do this. Oh, I'm bored. Oh, I'm sad. Yeah. Like when you're spending your time living and not just, like you said, a cluttered desk.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, like you just feel better, man.
Everything's a lot clearer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot clearer.
And that goes with, I think that it carries on to every aspect of your life or every facet of your life. And then I think instead of doing it for the likes or doing it for people to think I'm hustling, you got to do it to get more life. And I'm glad we talked about that, man. Like that's something I needed to hear from myself, and hopefully someone listening to this might just click, just something. Just
something, yeah. As long as I can get you to raise an eyebrow or think something from a different point of view, then yeah, that's huge, right?
That's why we do it, man. We do it because we want people to think, We want people to grow, and we want them to evolve, man.
That's life, man. That's life. That's the name of the game.
Dude, thanks so much. Great talking to you. I want to much love and peace.
Take care, and remember, smart small.
Smart small.
Start small. Jesus.
I'm gonna get this guy a coffee.
Wow.
Later.